Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. And I should say good afternoon to those in Australia. It's a good morning here. Thanks to Glenn Maxwell for joining us this morning to have a chat to you all. As always, guys, if you have a question, let me know in the chat box. Cameras and mics off. As soon as we get the first question in, we'll get underway. Looks like we have Louis Cameron first cab off the rank.
Hey Maxie, how are you going, mate? Obviously, well done on the IPL. What do you think clicked for you personally, mate?
Yeah, Lou. I think probably what clicked for me, I think more at the start of the tournament, I was probably able to just get myself into the tournament. I think in the first two games, I didn't really score a lot of runs, but I was actually able to spend a little bit of time out in the middle, trying to get used to the conditions and trying to adapt to what was in front of me and trying to get an idea of pace of the wickets, trying to get used to the conditions. I think the hardest thing was a lot of the training venues that we had weren't all that similar to what you face in the middle. So I think just spend as much possible time out in the middle during games and get a bit of, I suppose, match practice for the tournament was really helpful.
Do you anticipate that your role for the Aussies at this World Cup will be pretty similar to the one you played there?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll adapt and see. Obviously, we've got a different squad to what I have in the IPL, but I can't see it being all that dissimilar to what I've played in the past. And I can't see it being too dissimilar.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Alex Malcolm.
Thanks, Cole. Well done, Glenn, on the IPL. Just on that, how do you approach playing that sort of post-power play role in those conditions? What are the specific things you need to do in Dubai and Abu Dhabi that are perhaps different to elsewhere?
I think it just takes a little bit more time to soak in a bit of information. I think you can get to Australia and bat in that time, and you can probably go a lot earlier. You can try and hit boundaries a lot earlier. It just takes a lot more time to, I think, soak in information from the conditions, the bowlers, and it just takes like a few extra balls to actually get used to what's facing you out there. So I think having spent a fair bit of time in the middle over the last month and a bit has really helped me sort of start to get used to that and get used to the pace of the game and pace of the wickets. So that's probably the biggest key, getting used to the conditions.
How differently do night games play to day games there?
Certainly the second innings of a couple of games, it hasn't been consistent but like when it has come in, it certainly plays considerably different at night in the second innings. But overall, it's been pretty similar. I think as long as you get some wind through the ground, it's not too bad. But as soon as there's no breeze, because it's so humid, it can sort of take your breath away a little bit and make it really difficult to execute your skills. So we found that on a couple of grounds, especially Dubai, which is a big dome and pretty sheltered from the wind, as soon as there was no wind, regardless if it was day or night, it was really hard to breathe, and even some of the better athletes were struggling to, I suppose, get through 20 overs.
Thanks, Glenn.
Lockie McCurdy.
Thanks, Cole. Hey, Maxie. Obviously, a lot has been said about the pitches being quite conducive to spin over there. Obviously, your batting's in fine form, but in terms of bowling-wise, how do you feel they're coming out at the moment? And have you spoken to JL about what your role might be with ball in hand?
Yeah, I've done a fair bit of work with my bowling. I suppose I was lucky enough to have a pre-season with Victoria, work with Craig Howard down with the Vics. Done a heap of work there. Felt like I bowled really well during the IPL. Did a lot of work with Shree, who's our spin bowling coach here as well. So yeah, I was pretty fortunate to have a pretty consistent group around me to be able to continually work on my game, and feel like I've been bowling really well. I think the biggest thing for me being a batter first and foremost is to be able to bowl not just to left-handers, but to be able to bowl to right-handers and not have to, I suppose, worry about two right-handers being out there, still be able to close down one side of the ground and and offer Finchy an extra option. But I suppose that's the biggest thing. I've been working really hard on bowling from over the wicket and being able to attack right-handed batters, and it feels like it's going really well.
And obviously there's a few guys in the squad who probably didn't get to play in the IPL as much as they would have liked. Do you feel more confident going into the tournament having had those games? And have you spoken to those guys who haven't played as much and how they feel?
Yeah, I've spoken to those guys and they feel ready. They've been trained in these conditions. I think just acclimatising and making sure you're ready, regardless of game time. I think you can spend so much time in these conditions and work on different techniques, methods to try and get through and to try and be successful. And they're all senior players, the guys that have been over here. So I'm sure they've used the most of their time, and I haven't spoken too much at length, I suppose, but yeah, they seem ready to go.
David Mark.
Yeah, thanks very much, Cole and Glenn. I just want to go off on a bit of a tangent, Glenn, so please stick with me. There's been a lot of discussion here about the situation with Afghanistan, particularly with Cricket Australia signalling that the test is likely to be postponed. Have you given any thought to Afghanistan's role in the World Cup, given that they're not going to be playing in Australia, most likely? Has there been any discussion in the team about Afghanistan's role and whether you're happy for them to be playing at the T20 World Cup?
I have not given it any thought, sorry.
Has there been any discussion at all in the team about Afghanistan playing at the World Cup?
There has been no discussion throughout the group.
Okay, thank you.
Rob Forsyth.
Hey, Glenn. You've played in a few of these tournaments. Why do you think it has been the one sort of big event Australia haven't been able to win? And what do you think it is about this squad that is it will be well placed to sort of ideally break through in, I suppose, pretty different conditions to back home?
I think the T20 World Cup is probably the one format where one person can probably beat you on the day. It feels like I look back over the years, I think 2012 was our best chance. Well, even 2011 in West Indies, potentially as well, or 2010 in West Indies. So there was a couple of options, but the one I played in 2012, where Shane Watson was player of the tournament, we were flying that whole tournament, and we fell short at the semi-finals. We felt like we were a powerhouse at the stage. We were doing with the bat, doing with the ball, and we were going beautifully. But you get onto a day, and someone from the opposition has a day out. It's hard to stop, and it can change the I suppose the momentum of the game. So I suppose it's pretty fickle T20 cricket, I think, and unfortunately we've just been on the wrong side of it in a couple of key games, and I feel like we're getting closer. When we've had a strong squad in T20 and with everyone available, it's been great to watch, and it's been exciting, I suppose, for the crowd, and we're extremely pumped to get this started, and excited to be around each other as well.
And you touched on similar themes earlier, but are you expecting some quite sort of low pass scores, low scoring games compared to, I suppose, what a lot of people associate with this format?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the 220s and 230s that people probably come to expect from small grounds like Sharjah. But in saying that, if someone gets in from the power play as an opener and gets going, and I think it happened, because if you get used to the conditions, you can certainly make the most of them and dominate the team. But the trend of this tournament, the trend of the games over here has been, it's been really tough in the last 4 or 5 overs. The ball gets softer, the bounce almost disappears. There wasn't too many people that got over 10 and over for the last 5 overs. So it's not like, I suppose, other places around the world where it's you sort of delay and cash in later on. I think it's probably cash in at front end and try and hold off for as long as possible.
Thanks, mate.
Andrew Wu.
Yeah, g'day, Glenn. Just wanted to ask, I mean, how you seem, I mean, just seeing you on the screen and on pictures on Twitter and with you playing in games, you seem to be a lot more relaxed. As I've probably seen you for a while. I mean, am I saying things right? Do you feel as relaxed as you've been for some time? And if so, what do you attribute that to?
That way, I certainly have my moments. I suppose I was pretty fortunate to have the lineup that I did at RCB during the IPL and have those experienced players around me and feed off their energy and to, I suppose, learn off them as well. And I was extremely fortunate that every day was a learning experience. Every day I was finding something new out. I was being a sponge to Virat and AB and just watching the way they go about things. And that's always been the one thing in the IPL that I've always been extremely thankful of, is the opportunities that it gives you to learn off the best players in the world. And yeah, I was extremely fortunate to have two of the greats of the game in the same team and in the same batting lineup, who were open to share their experiences and talk to me about their game. Yeah, it makes you feel 10 feet tall when you've got their backing and they're watching you, they're asking you questions, and yeah, it just makes you feel confident, makes you feel happy. And yeah, we certainly had a really good group there as well. I had friends that I could rely on if ever had a bad day, but yeah, it was just nice to have a nice, comfortable environment.
And you played in quite a few World Cups, including one, a winning one in 2015. I mean, people always talk about you as sort of being a match winner and someone, you know, if Australia's to win this World Cup, you got to have a good sort of tournament. I mean, how are you sort of with those expectations, and are you ready to sort of embrace them? And can you be that sort of, you know, the bloke who makes a difference to winning a World Cup?
Yeah, I don't think I've made in my mind, I'm not sure that I've completely embraced, oh yeah, if I do this, but I'm thinking this World Cup, if I can play my role and have a positive impact as much as I can, whether it be bat, ball, field, and continue to provide the energy for the T20 team, which I've tried to do for the last 9 years or 10 years. And if I can continually, I suppose, look to have a positive impact. So I know if I continue the process that I've been doing during the IPL, I know I'm going to have success. It's just, it's a nice position to be in mentally, that I've come off a good run of form, and I'm not overthinking the stuff in game. Once I get in game, it's all automatic. I'm trying to play against the conditions and the opposition, and that's all I'm thinking about. It's not if I play well, we're going to win a World Cup. There's no thoughts of that. It's just, if I'm in the contest, I'll give my best on the day, and then I'm sure that will be a positive impact on the team, and everyone in the squad's thinking the same thing. And that's going to be one of our big keys, is trying to have a positive impact, whatever we do in the game, bat, ball, field. Even if you don't get any runs, being able to still impact the game somehow.
Cool, thanks, mate.
Trent Simpson.
Hey, Maxie, hope you're well, mate. Just wanted to ask your overall thoughts, I suppose, in some respects on the warm-up game, but more importantly on David Warner. You played a lot of cricket alongside him, mate. Where's his confidence at right now?
Yeah, the warm-up game was good to watch. It was actually nice to sort of sit back and actually watch a game and just have a bit of time to watch guys go about it. And the boys played really well. They tried a few things, tried a few tactics, and the movement was brilliant. They looked like they were having fun, and it looked pretty slick to me. So a few little things that need buffering out, and the specific coaches will certainly get to individual players non-stop. And I suppose that's the good thing about being over here. It's a continual learning curve, and everyone's trying to get better every day, which is a good thing for the group. And it certainly wasn't a perfect game, but it was a really good warm up for the guys. I think it was nice to actually get out there for guys to sort of be thrown into the deep end in a high pressure situation. Against New Zealand, you always want to beat them, and yeah, the guys did really well. As for Davy's, if you ever doubt Davy, it's an absolute no. You know he's going to turn around. He's a superstar of all three formats. He's made so many runs. He's going to go down as one of the greats of the game. Unfortunately, he got Martin Guptill yesterday with an absolute hanger. Gup seems to do that a lot against us. And yeah, those sorts of things happen when you're searching for it. But you know when he gets out there come game time, come the 23rd, regardless of what happens next practice game, you know he's going to hit the ground running, and yeah, he's going to be a big player for us.
Yeah, well spoken. And just on that next practice game, sorry, mate, will you be there? And are we expecting the best 11 to face India?
Well, I was there yesterday. I just didn't play, but
Playing,
I'll certainly.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I think we'll just play it by ear. I'm not really sure what the squad's going to be for tomorrow, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
Thanks, mate.
Anna Pavlou.
Thanks, guys. Just quick one, Maxi. Who should we be looking out for to have an impact during the World Cup, and who are you expecting to dominate?
From our team or other teams?
Or both, whatever you think. Predominantly Australia, I guess.
Well, I think Mitchell Marsh is going to have a massive tournament. I don't think I've seen anyone hit the ball better ever. We all gather around his nets and just watch him hit the ball. It's been pretty extraordinary to watch him go about his business at the moment. So I'd be really surprised if he didn't have a good tournament. And he's got his bowling as well. His presence around the group, regardless of what he's doing, is second to none. He's the guy everyone wants in their team. He's flying at the moment, so I'm expecting him to have a good tournament.
Thanks.
We'll go one last one from Alex Conrad.
Thanks, Cole. Hey, Glenn. Just wanted to sort of see your thoughts on Josh Inglis. I know he's sort of making his Aussie debut with you guys this tournament, and he obviously had a fantastic end to the warm-up game, hitting the winning runs. How has he been in the camp? And what's it like seeing this young guy, exposed to the setup for the first time?
He's been brilliant. He's an absolute sponge, Greggy. He's just so keen to learn. He's so keen to get involved with everything. He doesn't play a lot of golf. I think he's only played like 3 rounds of golf in his whole life, and we're a pretty heavy golfing crew, and he's come along to all the rounds of golf and just joined in and yeah, just asked a bunch of questions. He's been a bit of a sponge. He's training. He's got a great work ethic. We've all seen what he's done during the Big Bash. The skills he's had. He's dominated the over in England. Did well in the 100 as well. So we all know what he does. We all know he's a skillful guy, but the way he's actually sort of come over here, a guy from Perth who's played on these bouncy wickets and tried to adapt his game, tried to learn as quick as he can, asked a lot of questions. I've been really impressed with the way he goes about things, and we knew he was a good fella, but the way he's actually trained and worked hard has been outstanding.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. And again, thank you to Glenn Maxwell for giving us some of his time. We'll catch up with all of you guys later.
Cheers, Cole.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Glenn.